Good afternoon, everybody. I started this but did not have time to finish between my two classes today, but I told you I would do a video explanation of this homework problem, and I'm following through before I go home. So this was the problem that was asked about in class today. Let me zoom in a little bit even more. Make sure, I don't know what you all are watching this on, but get it as big as I can fit. Um, Considering buying a water filter and a reusable water bottle rather than buying bottled water, will doing so save her money? Of course it will. How much water does Janine drink in a day? She drinks 5 bottles a day, each at 16.9 ounces. So, and then how much does it cost? She buys a 24 pack of 16.9 ounce bottles for 309. So the way I organized this is I took it one question at a time and just copied and pasted only the pertinent information, right? Like this first part is to show how much the bottled water was costing her. And these two first bullet points are all we need from that problem to solve it. And I solved it using these long dimensional analysis things. You don't have to. You can solve it in different ways, but I just chose to do it that way. Likely, if you didn't do it like this, you would have said 5 bottles a day times 365 days per year and get a number. And that number is in bottles per year. And then divide by 24, and that's in cases per year. But you don't actually need to stop at everything. So I basically set all of the answers up in dimensional analysis. If Janine's drinking 5 bottles per day, and there's 365 days per year, that basically gets rid of our days. And if we say times 1 pack, which is 24 bottles, we've now kind of taken bottles out of the equation. And then 309 per pack, get rid of pack. Notice that what we're left with is, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Year is our denominator and dollars is our numerator. So our final answer is in dollars per year, which is great because that's how much we want to know, how much is going to spend in a year. So this worked out to be $234.97 per year. And as we saw in class, so feel free, by the way, to pause this video, try the calculations on your own, make sure you enter this and get 234.97. Feel free to pause at any time. I think that would be an effective way for you to follow along instead of just watching me solve the whole thing. All right, scrolling down, I split there are actually 3 different methods beyond that for different filtered water. There's the first option is this attaches to your sink water filter. And in that case, this would be a $28 device that has 1 filler cartridge in it. And then refill filters cost about $30 for a 3-pack. And each filter covers 100 gallons. So here I've just got the answer to this is going to be the cost of the water bottle, which is $10, cost of the filter, which is $28. And then the more difficult question answer is what's the cost of the cartridges? That'll be our total cost for the year. And again, I set up dimensional analysis, 5 bottles. So the first thing I want to figure out is how many gallons will Janine drink every year? So Janine's drinking 5 bottles a day, $365 per year, 16.9 ounces per bottle. And then a gallon is 128 ounces. That's going to work out to be 240.96 gallons per year. So now we know the volume of water that's going to be passing through that filter device. Again, if you want, pause the video to make sure you're caught up. And again, dimensional analysis. We've got rid of bottles. We got rid of days. We didn't get rid of years. We got rid of ounces. So then notice what you're left with is year in the denominator, gallons in the numerator, and we've got gallons per year is our final answer, that unit rate, gallons per year. And then after that, if we're talking about 240.96 gallons in 1 year, 1 filter gets us 100 gallons. That means 2.4096 filters are what we're going to take in a year. But remember, if we buy this device that goes to our sink, it comes with a filter. So we're actually only going to need 1.4096, 1 less than this. to buy. So a 1.4096 cartridges times $33 per cartridge. Notice the cartridges go away, and all we're left with is dollars. And so that's just going to be a cost. I guess I could have said, I didn't write 1.4096 cartridges per year because it's actually 2.4096, but we already paid for one. And then that ends in just dollars. And then we really have all the information that we need to say $10 for the water bottle, $28 for the filter, $15.50 is actually $15.51, right? $15.51 for the cartridges. I had to go back and fix some of these. I had made a couple mistakes when I first did it. $53.51 was the final answer for that. Way, way, way cheaper. Just as a reminder, $234.97 was the bottled water. So we're already way, way, way less money. And I'll just, spoiler alert, this ends up being the cheapest of the three options. Option 2 is very similar. You still need that reusable water. You still need filters, but this is we're buying a pitcher that we keep in the fridge. And the pitcher that has a filter costs $22. And the filters cost $20 for a 4-pack. So they're cheaper. However, those filters only filter out 40 gallons as opposed to 100 gallons. So we already have this number of 240.96 gallons per year. One filter gets us 40 gallons. So we're actually going to need 6.024 filters in a year. We'll need several more filters. But again, the pitcher comes with the first one. So we actually only need to buy 5.024 additional cartridges, $20 for 4 cartridges. That cost is going to be $25.12. So this time, if we have the water bottle plus this other filter plus the cartridges, that's going to be $10 plus $22 plus $25.12, about $57, which is more than $53, which is what we got when we looked at our first option. And then they get into option 3. I didn't even spend any time on this one because as I was reading it, just said the undersink filter costs $130. And I already know that we've gotten as low as $53. So even though this might be better over 10, 20 years, it's certainly not better right now. So I just said, we're done. $130 is too much money. It's already way more expensive than our $250-something other options. So I just skipped by that. And the final question is, how much money do you save if you go with the cheapest option? Filter option 1 is cheapest at $53.51 per year. That's what I had to fix. And even note that would be even cheaper next year because we already have that faucet attachment. We just have to buy filters in the future. So that's a savings of $181.46. That's just the cost of the bottled water minus the cost of the filtered water is going to be, we are up $181.46. So I hope you enjoyed this video presentation of PS4 question 2. See you next time.